Well, as you said, that sentencing of Transport for London and Tram Operators Limited is underway. So that's after they entered a guilty plea to health and safety failings last year. So TfL are responsible for the infrastructure, for providing the trams, whereas Tram Operations Limited, they're responsible for the actual running of the service, for providing drivers. So it was on the 9th of November in 2016 when 69 passengers were on board. As you say, 7 of those lost their lives and all the other passengers but one sustained injuries. The tram was travelling from New Addington to Wimbledon when it derailed at Sandylands, South London, travelling at 45 miles per hour in a 12 mile per hour zone. So today, the prosecution in their opening statement said the principal failing that they are going to say is the principal failing was the lack of a detailed risk assessment addressing the risk of a high-speed derailment at that curve in the tracks where the accident happened. So over the next 3 days, the court's going to be hearing evidence on issues such as if the lighting was up to scratch, if the signage was as it should have been. The court heard this morning also 10 victim impact statements. 4 of them were read out by family members, such as Jean Smith, the mum of Mark Smith, who was just 35 years old when he was killed. She struggled at times to speak, sharing with the court the impact her son's death had on her and her family, and he left behind a young son. She said she cried every day for 2.5 years until still to this day struggles psychologically. A statement was also read out on behalf of Stephen Kennedy. He lost his arm in the crash when he was just 24. He'd just started a career as an electrician in the film industry, and he said as a result he could no longer do his job and he suffers psychologically to this day. This follows the acquittal of tram driver Alfred Dorris last month, who was accused of failing to take reasonable care of his passengers. The driver claimed a number of factors, including poor lighting and signage, was leading into the tunnel that led to the crash was to blame. So this sentencing is expected to take another 2 days after